Now, we got to talk about some Pentagram stuff. So I do want to
Okay.
talk about the first record. Did you said it was like the quickest album to record?
The
Is
first
that
one?
true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The first one we did in 2 weekends.
2 weekends. Why was it just you guys were really tight? Was it just budget?
We were really tight and we were green
Nice.
for the most part. And we just went in and one after another. I said, okay, this one, this one, this one. And most of the songs were first takes. You know.
Hmm.
So it went really easily and really quick. We recorded it the first weekend and mixed it the second weekend.
Wow. Wow, that's pretty
Yeah,
impressive. And it turned out
yeah.
great.
People don't do that anymore.
None, none. Very unheard of.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on the first record? Like looking back at it.
Uh, I like it a lot more than I did for a while. I was really down on it because it's a low quality production. It's pretty raw
Mm-hmm.
and so forth. But then I got to liking that too, because I like it pretty,
Yeah. Yeah.
nasty, and it is nasty. It's pretty. I'm impressed with it when I listen to it now. Still,
Yeah. I like, and
I
a lot
like
of
it a
fans
lot
like
better than
that.
I liked the second album, which became one of our most popular albums ever, which was Day of Reckoning.
Yeah, which
And
is the
I don't.
shortest one too.
The
So
Day of
it's almost an
Reckoning is my
EP.
least favorite.
It's your least
It's my
favorite.
least
Why?
favorite. That and Curious Volume also,
Really?
which those two. Yeah,
We'll get to Curious
uh,
Volume. I'm very curious about that.
yeah.
Um,
Day of Reckoning was we wanted to do just to stack on a lot of extra guitars, and we were new at that for the most part. I mean, in the early days, like Under My Thumb was done with a lot of overdubs, the single,
mm,
uh, years earlier, but we weren't really experienced with overdubbing and stuff. And Don Fetterman, our engineer and so forth, Q, he really worked us through it well, you know.
yeah. Was
But
was
I
that's the straw that broke the camel's back right there? Was that the one where it's like, all right, this album, needs to be reworked? Or is that it?
uh I don't know about reworked. It was just we had to well we did remix it for the Peaceville re-release of it, but it was just laying down the basic tracks too, but a lot of overdubbing guitar stuff, which took a little while.
Yeah. Was there a Black Sabbath reference at all with Evil Seed? Because I believe you
No,
go
Evil
all
Seed
right
was
now.
about no, Evil Seed was about a young lady in one of the members' lives,
Mm.
and it's about her, the Evil Seed. He
Yeah, yeah.
at the
Was
time was going through a rough situation.
I love
So
I love that song. I also love how you go, all right now, won't you listen? And a lot of
yeah,
people
well,
have
that's of
paired
course
that
the
with
Sabbath
Sweet Leaf.
reference there.
Yes, yes. Okay, cool.
You know,
Yeah,
yeah, I did that very very purposely.
cool. I love the song Wartime off that one. I think that's like the best Pentagram closer in my opinion. Um,
Wartime's a good song.
so Be Forewarned is almost double the length of Day of Reckoning. So
Yeah,
was that a
yeah, we
reaction to how short the last record was, or
a little bit, I
yeah?
think, and also we just had a lot of overrun time, and you couldn't put that back then on vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't put an hour on one disc.
Yeah,
And the album, I think the album's 70 minutes long, or the
yeah,
whole running time of both. And we decided, let's make it a double album. You know.
and you got, of course, the title track on it. What made you want to give Be Forewarned like a second life, do a second version?
Well, yeah, I wrote another version of it, kind of just slowed it all down and
Yeah,
made it more somber. And Again, a lot of guitar overdubbing. Um, Be Forewarned has even more than Day of Reckoning does. I like the song material overall on Be Forewarned. I think a bit more, but they're in the same genre basically.
Yeah,
Still
I'd say they are.
still the same old kick ass. Beat your head on the wall, go into a coma, whatever.
Yeah.
Uh, you
That
know,
yeah, you just coined the new genre name.
you know,
So
coma rock.
yeah, yeah. Review your choices is next. I love your vocals on this one. Is there like a certain
Review.
vocal effect on your voice with
No, there wasn't a vocal
no?
effect. It was me like screwing around. Actually, like you hear like in Gorgon Slayer. Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, well, I want to make it sound like I'm slowed down, but don't slow me down. So I had to sing slowed down, and
You put a
I
natural
kind of
effect
let
on your
on.
voice.
Yeah, and also on review choices, I didn't I didn't want to stick to which the first three albums very much had a lot of the Ozzyisms, and I wanted to move away from that and get into a different, format, sound, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
and so I wanted to make a more variety of stuff, which Revere Choices has more variety as far as vocals go.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Joe Hasselvander was the additive, thing to that because we didn't have any band again then. And Joe called me up and said, "Hey, I just got an idea. Let's just you and me do it. I'll play everything." I was like, "Huh?" Which was worrying me at the beginning. I mean, Joe was not a guitar player back then. He was exclusively a drummer, and he just started playing guitar uh, heavily. I mean, as far as with intention, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love Riri Choices. Riri Choices is probably my second favorite Pentagram album,
Yeah.
next
And
to
then
the
your
one
next
after
the
it.
next record is your favorite, which is how
Yes,
we
it
met
is.
actually because I reposted a song off this Sub Basement
Mm-hmm.
about the famous sub basement you were living in. Um,
Yeah, that's pretty weird too. That's kind of a put on because he was even in the movie. It says, well, he was in his parents' basement for decades, and which is a lot of baloney.
oh yeah.
I've lived in about 10, 12 different places in my life, and in, out, in, out. The door was always open here, though, my folks, and I
Yeah.
came back a bunch of times.
You've also
You
lived
fall
on
on
the
your ass, you
road.
come back to mommy and daddy,
Yeah.
right?
And the road
Please,
also.
yeah, please,
Yeah.
one more chance. Hey,
And Out of Luck's your favorite song, right?
yes, it is. That's my favorite song that I ever wrote, as far as music and lyrics. Because I wrote all of that.
Yeah.
Out of
So
Luck. The reason I love Out of Luck is because it's just got so many parts in such a short amount of time. It changes every two lines virtually the whole song, but it still keeps its continuity and still has dynamics and stuff like that.
yeah. So what are your favorite parts of Sub Basement? What makes it your favorite Pentagram record?
Because it's so demented and so desperate and so bummed out. I mean, it's
Yeah. Oh
it.
yeah.
Well, I was in jail when I wrote the words to After the Last,
Really?
and I'm in jail again. And yeah, we hadn't
Yep.
recorded the record yet, of course, and wouldn't for another year or so. But that was a suicide note that I wrote, and
Wow.
it
Jesus.
wasn't a serious intention, because I'm not like that. It's
Yeah.
just not my makeup. I'm a survivor and a fighter. I'm gonna
Yeah,
keep
of
on going as
course.
long as the Lord lets me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, if there's an example of that, it's you, definitely. You've been through hell and back, I feel like.
Uh,
But Sub Basement's great, man. It's probably my favorite as well. As a
Sub
lot of
Basement is
fans as
just
well.
it's got a lot of fucking power. I mean, it's just balls to the walls from start to finish.
Yeah, there's
I
two
love the
covers of
material
that
on it.
too. Like
Hmm?
there's the guy coming out of the floor, and then there's one of like it's a skull, I believe.
Oh, you mean the picture disc?
There's a picture
Yeah, the
disc.
picture disc, which was released later. That was released, I think, in 2012 originally, the first issue of that by Smart,
Yeah.
and they did a very limited run, and then they had a repress of it, I think, in 20 or 22. I'm not sure.
Well, it is on
I
Amazon.
don't keep up with these rock things, man.
Yeah.
Who do you think I am? A rock and roller?
Yeah. So Sub Basement's your favorite. So what about Show 'em How? What about the next one?
Show 'em how I love too.
Yeah.
Uh, show 'em how was Show 'em how was done, and it took about a month to show 'em how. We had to do a lot of retakes and stuff like that, and
Why is that?
it doesn't have near the amount of overdubs and extra guitars stacked on that Sub Basement and Review Choices do, but it's a whole band again. And it was the guys from the band Internal Void from Maryland, and Kelly Carmichael, who's still a dear friend of mine, who I saw a month ago for the first time in probably almost 15 or 10 years, something like that.
Yeah.
And he's a guitar player. Um, Show 'em How has it's very personal to me. It's got some softer stuff on it, really. I don't know if that's noticeable, but
Yeah. It is.
it it does have some softer stuff like If the Winds Would Change, and studio version of Last Days Here, and Goddess, which I love, and you know
I
Prayer
will
for an Exit
say
Before Getting.
it does sound like you have a ton of fun making it. There's so many like oohs and ahs. Like it sounds like you're having a blast in the studio.
That's because I was uh, a little on the
Blasted.
blink.
Don't worry,
Blinking.
it's internet,
Blinking.
so
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. That's good about social media too. You can say four-letter words and you won't get blipped.
Yeah. And those famous three-letter ones too, you know?
Yeah, and you know what? The fans. That's the good thing about social media. Is it? I mean, for instance, I have a few people like in Russia that every single day, 365 days a year, message just to check in. And you couldn't do that stuff years ago, man. I mean, talk to someone in Russia. I can't afford the phone bill. Sorry, but different tune now.
We're all connected, you know?
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
I'd like to think that.
Well, I think we are
I
cuz like
wish.
cuz I'm 20, I'm only 24 and we're talking. We're doing like an interview. Isn't that wild?
Yeah,
Like everything's
yeah.
such more connected now. It's not like I have to, hitch a ride to Maryland and knock on your door with a camera crew
Right,
anymore.
right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, when the movie was done, that's all they did. They drove down here and followed me around with a handheld cam,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah, that's how the whole thing was done. And they just followed me around for about 5 years.
Was it 5 years that
Yeah.
documentary?
It took
Wow.
2006. They started the filming, and the movie came out in 11.
Wow. Wow. That must have been an awesome feeling when that finally released. After
Yeah, it
5
was.
years of filming and antics and everything that went on during it.
Yeah, there was a lot of crazy antics. What you see in the movie? Up, locked up again. I mean,
Yeah.
goddamn, man. I can't win for losing.
Yeah. Now it did spawn Last Rites.
Yeah.
The next Pentagram record. What was it like going back in the studio after like everything that went on in that documentary?
Well, I had gotten sober at that time for a period of time, and Victor and Greg were back on board, and it was pretty solidly done. I mean, I really like Last Rites. It's
Me too.
kind of unsung to most people who listen to Pentagram. Well, I think the production is excellent on it. Uh, it was done in Knoxville, Tennessee, and we stayed down there, for a couple of weeks and went
Yeah.
through stuff, over and over. It's just, I think it's got a lot of finery to it. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah, I agree. And I think it sounds, for everything you went through, it sounds amazing. Like it's just
Okay.
such an like you said, it's such an underrated record you guys did. And
Yeah, a
it
lot of
definitely
people
deserves
don't.
some more praise.
Yeah, yeah, and we were told that it didn't sell. That's why they reissued the CD 4 times because it didn't sell.
Wow.
Hey, it did, obviously.
Yeah.
You don't put out a product just over and over and over and over, you know, that's not selling. It's like,
Yeah.
maybe you'll like it this time better. They don't do that.
Now it brings us to our latest release, Curious Volumes, where you said you do have some issues with it. Now I'm curious what those are.
The thing with Curious Volume is I don't think it has a good running flow. It's every song on it is complete mood swing to me. Um, it just doesn't have that continuity, you know. It like at the end of each song, it kind of leaves you dropped off, and then there's something completely turning in a different direction on the next song. I guess is the easiest way to put it. It's not that I don't like the album. I think it's got some damn good cuts on it. Um, I wish we'd have had more time to repiece it together because uh, our drummer at the time left the afternoon that we finished the entire album.
Really?
Yeah,
That's so
he.
weird.
This was kind of, I guess, maybe uh, predetermined by him or pre-thought out. But it
What?
was like, I'm going to get this record done and I'm leaving, and it'll be on there, which it's not because we called Minnesota Pete Campbell and we said we're in a bind. Can you learn an album like right away, quick? And he said sure, and we flew him in from Minneapolis to Baltimore, and we went into a little studio, and he had a day to learn all the stuff and
Wow.
from scratch, and he replayed all the drums on it.
Wow. That's wild. Yeah, there is I do understand what you're saying because you have a song like Misunderstood, which is
Mm-hmm.
such like an up tempo, like very
Punk,
high, fast song. And then you have like
yeah, it's
some
punk rock.
more like slower stuff. Yeah, it's like it's practically punk.
Yeah, it is. It is to
Yeah.
me at least.
So
Um,
I do see that.
yeah, but not so misunderstood is kind of a fluke because misunderstood is first done um, in 1982 on stage uh, at
Hmm.
a couple of concerts, and we never really intended. It was kind of a half throwaway thing. It was just kind of fun,
Yeah,
you know.
like
That
a little
that punky,
jam.
review type of thing, yeah. And we decided, let's put it on there. Why not?